All right, so I thought it'd be fun here. Got asked to do one of these for Swing Catalyst. I'm a proud ambassador, been using them a long time. Don't do many of these, but take you through the process that we do with some of our students when they come to, really all of our students. And this is the before, so I'll take you through my analysis of the swing, then take you through a couple exercises we've done, and then kind of the finished product as I've worked with Mark here, who's a great guy. I think we've worked 4 or 5 times. This was the first time I saw him at Frederica when he came to see me. Obviously, since then I've left there, so he's come to see me a couple different places, but most recently here at my studio in Mobile. So we're going to start here with his, so he tends to always get set up a little too much on his right side, leaned on his right, and then to me, he leans off the ball. You see all that pressure shoot right over to his right leg. I think his center of pressure gets too much. I guess that's what that is, right on top of his right leg. I call it the dot, but that dot gets too much right on top of his right leg. I think he's got too much pressure over there, that he's leaned over there rather than turned, and I don't think so. I don't think he's loaded very well. And then I think as a result, his whole body, there's no separation. His upper body and his lower body together just kind of lean over to the left in an attempt to get back to the ball. And I think that's a combination of that he, one, was out of balance at address, and two, that he didn't get properly wound up at the top on the backswing. So then as a result, because there's no separation, in my opinion, the club's a little too steep. And then because the club's a little too steep and he's leaned over here into his left toe, he hits the eject button, he kind of backs his head up and out of it, and that's really the move that he dislikes. And he's a single-digit handicap, good player. So here's the drills we took him through. Not my best video work, but I use these balance discs all the time because I think it helps a player find the balanced position. So you notice he's actually got a little more weight on his left than his right. And I'm not a scientist, obviously, so I don't pay as much attention to the pressure on this as I do the fact that he stays nice and balanced, and the ability to balance himself while he turns his hips and his chest back. So I feel like that makes him more centered. We also talked about a little bit being more structured at the top. So I love using these balance discs to help people learn to not lean off the ball and to get more centered and balanced at address. One of the other drills we've done is, and I give a shout out to my man Colby Wayne, Colby Touye, the best in the world in my opinion, who I do so much work with. And Colby and I always talk about the fact that if you teach the body the correct movement pattern and they learn the correct movement pattern, it transfers over to the golf swing easier. So we do this drill here where I'm holding the band, as you see there, and he's learning to pull it back with his body while he keeps his big right toe against the ground so that all the pressure's on the whole foot as he goes back. And then he pulls the second one, the left band, out of the way from the top. Right band back, left band, pulls the left with his hips, and that helps learn the correct movement pattern and helps him learn to wind up more efficiently, and then helps him to separate his lower body from his upper body and deliver the club more effectively. So here's kind of the finished product after some work. Saved y'all the labor of a bunch of different extra videos, but you can see at address he's a little more balanced, got a little more weight on his left foot. But you can also see there's just more pressure engaged in the whole foot. Okay, so he's a little more into the ground. He's a little more balanced at address. To me, he looks way more balanced here. He's straight-legged. And so from here, we run the first one to the top, and you can see how much pressure he gets over there. Like I said, it's kind of leaned over there. And then here, he turns it over there. The pressure doesn't shoot over there quite as early. He gets 68, something like that, close to 70. There were some that were over 70, but that's kind of where we're trying to get. And so to me, he looks more structured at the top. He looks more wound correctly into this right leg. And then the big thing is out of the top. Here he leans, his whole body leans over there, and there's no separation. Here there's a little shift, but the lower body's separating better from the upper body. Club is more shallow coming down, not as steep, not as much up on his left forearm. Okay. And that's where he backs up and out of it. Should have synced these up, like I said. Way less up and out of it. Club's in a way better position at impact. Right? He's rotated more out of the way. His hips are separated more from his upper body. He's got more pressure actually into his left leg and on the whole foot. And here is a big one for me. The difference here in how his right hip and shoulder have rotated through. Arms are more stretched. And his club goes all the way to the finish more with the rotation of his body. I think Mark did a nice job. That's a little bit of the process of how we use some things like balance discs and bands to help change the movement pattern and transfer that to the golf swing. Hopefully that helps some folks out there and you enjoyed it. Talk to you soon.